Hi, grade 2. How is everyone? I hope you're all doing fine. I miss all of you very, very, very much. And today I'm going to help you a little with multiplication and what we've taken so far. Now, I've attached a PowerPoint presentation that's going to explain different tasks for you to do as a form of reflection for you to reflect on what we've taken in this unit so far. And I'm also going to give some examples, show you how to solve some examples so that you're able to do it by yourself. Now, the first thing we're going to be doing is different forms of multiplication. Here, I have these numbers. I have 5, 3, and 15. Now, I'm going to be using these numbers for all the forms that I have. My first form is going to be the multiplication sentence. Here, I take the 5, and I'm going to multiply it by 3, and it's going to be giving me 15. Now, here is my multiplication sentence. In my multiplication sentence, the first number is always going to be the number of groups. So here, the 5 will be the number of groups I have, multiplied by 3, that gives us 15. My second form is going to be repeated addition. I look at my multiplication sentence. I have 5 times 3. So that means I have 5 different times. Now, in my repeated addition, this is also going to give me the same answer, which is 15. I added 3 5 times because it's how many different groups I have. My third form is the model form. I go back to my multiplication sentence. I have 5 multiplied by 3. So that means 5 groups. I'm going to be drawing circles right now. And I'm going to place 3 items inside each group. Now, when you model, you can choose any different form you'd like, any picture you'd like, but it's always easier to use circles. Here's my third form. My fourth form is going to be the commutative form. This is when I take my multiplication sentence and I switch my numbers, and it also gives me the same answer. Here I have 5 times 3, gives me 15. So if I say 3 multiplied by 5, that is also going to give me 15. Commutative is when we switch the numbers and it still gives us the same answer. Another form I have here is word form. Word form is I look at the number of groups. I have 5 groups of 3. Here's when we use words to write our multiplication sentence and the numbers we have. Now, here are some of the forms that we've taken so far. Another form that we've taken is also making word problems. I'm going to use these numbers to also make a word problem. Here it says, Sara went to the store and bought 5 boxes of books. Each box had 3 books inside. How many books did Sara buy? The first thing we do when we have a word problem is we look at the keywords that are going to help us solve the problem. What I can do is I can underline the words, circle them. This will help you remember what to use. So it says here, Sara went to the store and bought 5 boxes of books. So we know she bought 5 boxes of books. Each box had 3 books inside. What do I know now? I have my multiplication sentence. What I do is I know that she had 5 different boxes and each box contained 3 different books inside. Now, another way to solve this is to model it. I can draw my 5 boxes, just like we did before, we modeled it, and I can place 3 different books inside. Now, by doing this, we can count all the books that she had bought and see my total. Here it shows me that she has 15 books. She has now bought 15 books. Now, the important thing to do here is whenever we have a word problem is at the end of the answer, we have to write the unit so that we know what it is she bought. We connect it back to the word problem. These are the different forms that we took in class, and these are the forms that you need to know when talking about multiplication because they're all connected together. Now, the next thing we're going to be talking about is the different multiplication facts that we took in class. Now, multiplication facts is the same as, like we discussed in class, with counting. What we do is I want to use the number 2. I take 2 and I multiply it by 1. This is going to give me 2 because any number multiplied by 1 is the same number. Let's move on to the next number. 2 multiplied by 2 gives me 4. 2 multiplied by 3, 6. 2 multiplied by 4, 8, and 2 multiplied by 5 gives me 10. The pattern I see here when I look at the answer is that it's skip counting by the number 2. So this is for the 2 times table. If it's the 3 times table, it's skip counting by 3, 4, skip counting by 4, and so on. It's a different pattern for each times table. So this is an easy way if you're having a hard time to memorize the different times tables. This is an easy way to remember is that you look at the answers and all of it is skip counting by 2. We keep adding 2 to get the answer. The next concept we're going to be talking about right now is missing numbers and multiplication. Here, I have 2 different problems. My first problem says 2 multiplied by a number is going to give me 12. Now, one way to solve this is we look at the first number. Remember earlier when I said the first number is the number of groups? What I can do is I can model it. I can draw 2 groups, and inside I have to equally share 12 things. So what I can do is I can keep placing an item in each group until I reach to the number 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I stop at the number 12 because that's how much I have. What I do is I look at each group and I see that each group contains 6 items. Now, the most important part of this method of solving is to make sure that each group has an equal number. If one group had a different number than the other group, then I know that my answer is not right and I did not equally share them. Here, I write in my box 6. 2 multiplied by 6 gives me 12. The next problem says 4 multiplied by an unknown number gives me 16. I'll do the same method. I'll draw 4 different groups and I'll equally share 16 items in each group. I'm going to keep placing items into the circles until I have reached the number 16, and then I'll see how much each group has. Right now, I counted up to 16 items and I see that each group equally has 4 items. Now I know that 4 multiplied by 4 gives me 16. Now, it doesn't matter if the missing number is in the beginning or the beginning of the multiplication sentence or in the middle of it. You can use this method for both ways. Now, these are the different concepts that we've taken so far in multiplication. We have different forms, we have word problems, we have the times tables that we sent home that you guys memorized at home, and we have missing numbers and multiplication. Another way you can solve missing numbers is if you memorize the times table, you can just mentally say 2 multiplied by a number gives me 12, and you already know that 2 times 6 gives you 12. If it's a larger number, what you can do is use the same method I used and just model the numbers you have to get the answer. Now, I hope that you all understood everything I gave today, and I hope that you solved the tasks that I sent so that you can reflect further for the unit and reflect for multiplication so that we can move on to any new concepts. I miss you all, and I can't wait to see you again. Bye.